Hello and welcome to the Purpose Rwanda Show with me, Irma Ihumure. Today, I am excited. It's another day to discuss one of my favorite topics. So we've been talking about purpose, understanding the purpose of our lives, discovering our purpose, learning to see how we can overcome challenges on the pursuit of our purpose. And we are continuing in that spirit of that conversation. And today I have an amazing guest who is an award-winning public speaker, and he's dedicated to help people increase their confidence and improve on their communication, like develop their communication skills, become better communicators. So help me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Joshua. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you so much, Irma, for having me.
It's amazing to have you.
No, it's my joy. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes, actually, this conversation is something I waited for.
Okay.
I was like,
Finally
he's a public speaker. I need to know. Tell me, how did you get into public speaking?
It's a question I always get many times. But when many people chose to be public speakers, I think for me it chose me. It's something I actually did when I was young, but later on, I'm sure you know Toastmasters is an organization I'm part of I joined when I was a freshman at university. And then I got an opportunity to formally do it and have enough guidance, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So tell me, when you were young, let's go back.
Yeah.
Take us back. Tell me when you were young, were you always confident? Were you talkative?
Yeah, maybe that's the thing.
Because, some kids are just, they have the ability to talk and they speak, they talk easily. So were you that type of kid?
Absolutely. I was very rowdy as a kid. I recently met a friend of mine, or not a friend, someone that knew me when I was young. And when he saw me, I told him, this is Joshua. Then the first thing he asked was in Kinyarwanda. He's like, are you still talkative like you still when you're young? So yes, I was talkative, and my parents allowed me to be, talkative. I remember when we had guests, my parents would, call me to sing for the guests.
Wow.
And sometimes my dad, I think he was proud of me at the time. He would, get me speaking. So yeah, I think my parents had a big part in that.
Wow, that's amazing. There's something you just said. Your parents allowed you to be talkative.
Yeah.
They allowed you to be yourself.
Yeah.
So do you think they saw a gift in that?
Well, I don't know. It's a question I need to ask my mother particularly. But I think my father is a teacher, and my mother is a church leader. So I think for them it came naturally to let me be, and they probably were very busy to run after me. I was quite a handful to hold. So I don't know if they were intentional about seeing purpose into me and allowing me to be that. Okay. But I think they're generally outgoing people, and my father himself is quite eloquent, so I think that's maybe why. And surely both of them were earning whatever they are doing because they are speaking. So I think for them it was easier for me to be that, because I had both of them to emulate.
I see. And they understood you.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did. They definitely did, and they allowed me to be. I keep on saying this because they gave me chances to be that.
Wow.
They gave me chances to stand in front of people, deliver. My mother encouraged me to be part of these skits and plays, drama at church, and that for me built the confidence.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today I want us to particularly discuss about this, about confidence.
Yeah.
Because I believe one of the things we need on the pursuit of purpose, one of the things we need to be confident. Yeah. We need to be confident in who we are, in our gifts. And I want you to give us, a clear guideline or something practical, especially to somebody who is struggling to be confident in themselves.
Well, there's definitely a good reason as to why they're not confident, and that could be background, it could be the people around you, what they tell you. It could be lack of training. And even though I say I developed some self-esteem, I think for me when I joined Toastmasters, I had more tools, proper structure, and people that saw me. So I would just say the first thing is, when no one is believing in you and you want to go somewhere, I think the beginning point should be believing in yourself.
Wow.
And then trying to listen when no one is around, when there's no noise around, when you're just in that dark corner of yours. Do you believe that you can do something? If the answer is yes, I think you should follow your answer and simply go forth. And the next thing is surround yourself with the people that see the good in you.
And what if the answer is no?
If the answer is no, and you still, it also depends on, again, what it is, but looking at self-confidence in general, I think the answer is always yes for all of us. Unless there is a power that came before you realize that, we could be like your past could be a negative voice. And if it still is no, I would say find people that you know have your best interest at heart. Share with them your ideas, share with them what you think, and find people that are always positive and encouraging to yourself. And I say this because the people around, especially those that love us, that are dear to us, have the ability to actually hinder that great thing that is in us.
Yeah.
So I would say surround yourself with people that are positive, that see the best in you, and run away from people that are negative.
Yes.
Because the best they're going to do is pull you down.
Yes, that's so true. Wow, that's helpful actually. So what if the people that are pulling you down are the people closest to you?
Yeah, that's often the case.
Let's say the colleagues or the family members, like those people you can't actually separate yourself
That's
from.
true.
And they're the ones bringing you down.
Yeah.
They're the ones, you know, killing your confidence. You're not believing in your difference. How do you do that?
So, Ilma, in life, you have two families. The one you choose and the one that chooses you, or the one that you don't get to choose. The one that you're born in, your actual family, you can't change much. And the best you can do is be there as a family member, but when it comes to you doing your own things, you can run to the family that you choose, and those are your friends. You have the opportunity to choose friends that see value in you, that see the best in you.
Absolutely.
So what I can advise such a person is remember you have another family you can choose. So choose rightly. Choose the people that see the good in you and go be with them. Because at the end of the day, that family that you choose has the biggest impact on you, especially when the rest of your environment is trying to pull you down.
Wow. So tell me about your personal experience.
Yeah.
Have you got to a place where you were yourself discouraged and you were not confident enough, even though you were doing, you know, public speaking? It's like your job requires you to stand there, but you tell me if you had those moments of doubting yourself, of feeling down.
My God, it's every speech that I deliver. A friend of mine told me that there are 3 speeches that you deliver. The one you prepare, the one you deliver, and the one you wish you had delivered. So that is always going to happen. But I think the difference is knowing that this is part of your life. This is part of a public speaker's journey, or not just a public speaker's journey, but a person's life. The beginning is always hard. It's always difficult, especially when there's a lot that is unknown. But I can also speak in moments when the stakes are high, and maybe you're going to do something, you know, bigger than the normal. That's absolutely obvious that you're going to have some feelings of doubt, you know, self-doubt. But for me, like I said, the biggest thing that I've done, that I've always chosen to do, is in terms when the stakes are high, I surround myself with the people that say to me, come on, Joshua, you got this. This is what you've done before. People that remind you of what you've done before, people that remind you of your qualities that you have. And that, Ilma, takes you a long way than you can even imagine.
Wow. For those who just joined us, we are welcoming you all. We are having a good conversation with Joshua, and we are talking about building our confidence on the pursuit of purpose. Why do we need to be confident in ourselves? Why do we need to believe in ourselves? And we welcome you. So, Joshua, I want to ask you something.
Sure.
Why does it seem and why does it feel like the purpose is always higher than the reality? Why does it feel like, okay, the dreams we have in our hearts, compare them to our reality? I mean, the reality is like down there, and the dream is high. Why, like, and sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm discouraged. Yes, I believe this. I see this in my heart, but it seems like it's higher than me. So I want to ask you, tell me the place of faith on the pursuit of our dream, on the pursuit
it's
of
all you have, my friend. I'm afraid to tell you that it's all you have. I think for me, maybe to first answer the first question of why is purpose bigger than the reality, bigger than ourselves. God created us for a purpose larger than our singular life. So for each one of us, there is a bigger calling than a singular life. And that's why we try to call greatness out of people, because it is there. God created us to serve each other and serve a higher purpose. And therefore, there's so many great things to be achieved, and they are inevitably going to be achieved by people. 30 years from now, anyone that walked into this city, they were extremely bamboozled. They couldn't believe that what the dream was could even be reality. I think people are even tempted to go back and say, look, this is a gone case. Let's forget this country called Rwanda. Let's go on. But 30 years from now, from then, I mean, you look at this country like, oh my God, a pastor that was here, 30 years ago. So it tells you that we are called to do greatness, to actually put that big vision into reality, and surely it is important. But what is faith? Faith is, in my own terms, is the believing of the unreal as if it were real. It's more or less of seeing into the future or creating something out of nothing. But of course it is hinged somewhere. So as a man of faith, I believe that God gave us that ability to create. Yes. Because He Himself created. Yes. He created a lot of things from nothing. From nothing. And He did most of the things with His word, with His conceptualization, with His vision, therefore, right? So the place of vision is all you have in the realization of purpose. Faith is all you have in the realization of purpose. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Faith is all you have in the realization of purpose.
I mean, and I'm saying that because it is the beginning point. And therefore, the beginning point and the guide and the compass that you have. That belief that you have. I mean, look at everything that you know today. Everything started with faith. Yes. Every single thing started with faith, that we could actually do something. And we went on to see how can we begin from here to get to where we want to be. But it has to begin with faith.
Wow. I agree. I totally agree with you. Because at some point, you realize that the vision you're pursuing, the purpose, that reason, the why of your life, that big dream in your heart that you know that you're pursuing, at some point you realize that I need to close my physical eyes and use the eyes of my heart.
Absolutely.
Because when you start using the physical eyes, you get discouraged. Yes. Like it doesn't look like it, you know. Yeah. So at some point you have to be blind, you choose to be blind, and you open the eyes of your heart and you follow your heart. So I actually agree with you. So tell me the importance or the place, according to yourself, of training. How is it important to be trained for the purpose you're pursuing?
I think training is absolutely vital, because the truth is no one is born with all that you need to be able to be excellent. Can I take you to the world of faith? Do you know that Jesus was taken through 40 days and 40 nights of training before he can actually be released? Do you know that Moses had to be taken to the palace, was born in the palace, to understand what happens in the palace, so that when he comes back, he's not intimidated to pursue God's purpose or God's mission on his life. So if mighty men of God were actually taken through training, and I can talk about many other men that were taken through training in the Bible, but even in the current times, so that they can actually fulfill their purpose. So it's important for us, especially young people, that God has given us a huge life ahead of us to be able to accomplish so much, to pursue training diligently, pursue training like no man's business, because it's out of training, constant training, that we acquire the tools that we need to be able to effectively execute on what we need to do to achieve the vision and the purpose that is upon our lives.
Wow. That's really great, because sometimes after the awakening, after you have received the knowledge that I was born for a reason, you know, there is a great purpose for my life. Young people, because they have the zeal, you know, they have energy, and they want to go and start doing the big things, you know, realizing the huge, amazing things, and yet they're not prepared enough. Like they're not equipped. So they think, or they feel like, oh, why are you taking my time? Like, I'm just, you know, in a hurry. I need to do amazing things. I need to influence. I need to impact. But you're not equipped. You're not prepared for that. So I believe the same way you're saying it, if you're not equipped and prepared for something, then the impact is not going to be excellent, you know. So I think what you're saying is true. So there's something else I want you to touch, or you know, to tell us more about. And that is about, you know, after you have, you know, discovered the purpose of your life, but you feel like you're not getting the opportunities. It's like you're waiting and waiting and waiting. How do you behave in the seasons of waiting?
There are actually a number of ways to tackle that, right? It depends on why you think there is no opportunity for you to actually start working on your purpose. I can tell you that there is always an opportunity around. As long as there are people around you, there is always an opportunity to serve in the direction of your purpose. And it could be, let's give an example of a mighty public speaker. Let me talk about an area that I'm quite passionate about, and also I know. You believe that God has called you to actually go and minister to multitudes of people. But you are, let's say, in the village, deep down there, and no one knows you, and no one, but you still have that drive in you that tells you, you know, one day you will hit stage like no man's business. So I just suggest that, my friend, you start where you are. I remember, and I'm not totally saying that this is something that I purpose to do, but I remember it's something that happened to me when I was young. Or I would gather kids in my neighborhood, and then you know, I would be in P5, and I would gather kids in P3, and I would be teaching them what I learned. You know, things like what is wind, what is air, what is 2 + 2. And for me, that was practice. That was the beginning of what I would become, you know, 30, 40 years, and who knows, the rest of my life. So I like to say, start from where you are. There is an opportunity. Do not despise humble beginnings, because humble beginnings make the mighty who they are. Every mighty person that you know, they have a humble beginning. And there's nothing wrong with starting big. But the problem is we always don't have the opportunity to start big. And by the way, when you start big, you may be shocked by success, and you don't have the ability, the rigor that you need to be able to manage the success. That's why you see some young people, you know, failing to manage success when it comes and befalls onto them. So I think small bits of progress will help you. But also ask questions. You know, ask people around you, how can I be able to serve? Be available. I know how to do this. I can do this. I think I can teach young people. I can do this. How can I serve? There are many people that are actually looking for people that have a serving spirit. The problem is when you think that everything that you serve for, you should be paid for. And sometimes you don't. It doesn't work like that. It actually could be that you should be the one paying, because this could be your training ground. When you volunteer, it gives you more opportunity to even land on the ground. I cannot tell you how much I've learned through my volunteer work. It's because I just was there and availed myself, and I learned. And I know it's a story for many other people.
So in reality, the opportunity is there.
Absolutely.
It might not be packaged in the way you want it, but you can find the opportunity.
I
You
think
don't
you
wait for the opportunity,
Yeah.
but you look for it, you go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree
Just
with
show
you.
up. Just show up.
Show up,
Yeah.
serve, like
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
Do what you can do where you are.
Yeah.
Waiting for yourself to get to another place
Yeah.
or to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
But you can do something with what you have.
And just allow me to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Serve. If you are, like, again, the knowledge of a public speaker, if you think you're destined for 10,000 people
Yes.
and you get 3 people, serve the 3 people like you're serving the 10,000 people.
Wow.
That way you will be able to grow, and whoever is watching you, they will see something in you.
That's so true.
Because you have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. It's something that I love to tell to myself. You should always bring your gift to its highest level of excellence.
Excellent. Yeah.
And you have to do it like with 3 people the same way you can do it with 10 people. And if you can perfect the gift with 3 people,
Yeah.
then you can do it, you can perfect it with 10 people. And the same thing applies to 1,000 or 1,000,000 people. So totally agree with you. So let's touch this, fear.
Okay.
Now you tell me, how do we overcome the fears? The fears we have, the negative voices in our mind, you know, on the pursuit of purpose. We are learning, today we are learning how to build the confidence, how to achieve confidence, but we have this fear, it's a hindrance.
Yeah.
You know, it's hindering us from achieving more, becoming more. I want to know, how do we go about it?
So fear in itself is not bad.
Oh.
Fear in itself is not bad. Excessive fear is bad.
How do we
As
measure?
they say, yeah, I'm coming to that. Now, fear, okay, there could be like 3 levels of fear. There could be fear which is like a health issue.
Yes.
And therefore, I advise that one, hands down, go find medication, go find
therapy.
professional help. Yeah. But there is the common fear which hinders us from, you know, should I go, should I not? Am I ready? Am I not ready? You know. I would say that one. Remember what I said: surrounding yourself with the right people, training yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can chase away over 50% of fear by getting yourself ready. If it's a speech, prepare for the speech. If it's a skill that you want, go for training. By doing that, you're equipping yourself with confidence to be able to achieve to overpower the fear that you have.
Wow, I love that.
Now, the last kind of fear is a friendly fear that says, Ilma, it's very important. Do not miss this. It's vital. And therefore, it becomes a small voice that tells you how important it is. You see, if the stakes are not high, your concentration will go low. And when the stakes are high, when the stakes are high, therefore the concentration is high. When your concentration and focus are high, you're much more likely to produce better results than when you're just at leisure and at ease. And I'm just talking about the right measure of fear, which is a little bit of anxiety, which is a little bit of the jitters in you. But again, not allow the fear to be the one to dictate, to be the drive. No, the fear is part, is like your colleague on the side that tells you, hey, focus, don't take this lightly. You could mess up. And there are all these people that are looking up to you. And the response to that is, oh, let me prepare myself. The response is no. It's not to say, no, let me go back and go home. I'm not able to do this. No. The response is, let me prepare myself. What do I need to be able to achieve this? As, by the way, when you're very prepared, when you're prepared and you feel you're in the zone, the fear, you will feel, you have a good feeling around it. And the fear will go away.
Wow.
And the fear will go away. So it's not all the time that fear is bad. It's the excessive fear that stops you from actually taking the first step, that numbs you and freezes you. That is a problem. To conquer that, I said, 1, find help. 2, surround yourself with the right people. 3, get the tools that you need to be able to achieve what you have to do.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing. So there's something that I love. Okay, I love everything you're saying, by the way.
Thank you.
But I want you to talk to parents.
Yeah.
There's something that I really admire and that I love about your parents, because they were able to identify your difference and they allowed you to be yourself.
Yeah.
So can you just talk to parents, who have, different kids, or they just have one child, or many children? How can they appreciate their differences instead of comparing their children?
Yeah.
Because a lot of parents, they have the tendency to compare their children, to compare their personalities, and they'll be like, you were very talkative. Why aren't you like your sister?
Yeah.
Why aren't you like your brother? You were very talkative. Oh, just try to manage your words. Like, it's like you're attacking the personality of your child. So what can parents do in order to pave a good way for their children to actually embrace who they are and grow into that?
I think most parents have the pressure. Most of them are living under the pressure to create a life for a child, which is given because parents have the ability to influence what children become. But let's also remember one thing, that parents are simply vessels that God uses for these children to come on earth. And for every child that comes, I believe, has a puzzle in their hand to solve. And therefore, God has already placed a purpose for them to achieve. So for us trying to make them fit in every situation is we are failing God, because the reality is God has set these children differently, and all of us are different to achieve a different divine purpose for God. Now, what I can say to parents is, be the guide. If I could say, I would simply be the guide. Look, seek to see the uniqueness in each child, because it's true, all the children are unique. My brother and I cannot be any different, So it's important that parents get to see, instead of looking for a conformity, to try to find a one size fits all type of situation, but instead look at the uniqueness that lies into each of the children and help them. You don't know how powerful a parent's voice is to say, I believe in you.
It is.
I know you can do it.
Yes.
I am here to support you, to provide you with anything you need.
Yes.
And in addition to say, you're meant for greatness.
Wow.
You are meant to be, not to fit in, you're meant to be unique. Because the world is going to actually all come to you for solutions.
Wow.
In the area, of course, of your gifting and calling. So a parent can make or break a future purpose to be fulfilled or not fulfilled. So it's up to you, parents. It's up to all of us that are parents or prospective parents. So, by the way, you don't even have to be biological parents. They're also mentors and people that are looking up to us. So, as a person of responsibility, you have the highest level of calling that you have is to guide people under your authority and support. And therefore, seeing greatness in them and calling it out of them is one of the biggest responsibilities that parents have, and not to make sure that everyone is as well behaved as everyone. Because, again, there's a difference between character and skill and talent. So, yes, it's important to shape the character of a child, but it's also good to let the child be free, explore, and be that God is calling them to be.
Wow, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm loving this conversation, but unfortunately, time is not our friend. So, but before I let you go, I want to ask you to tell us in a nutshell, in a very summarized way, because we have young people watching us. Not only young people, we have a lot of people watching us, and they're asking themselves, okay, but I need to know, like, I actually want to start working on my self-confidence. I want to start working on my confidence, because yes, I have discovered my purpose. I have discovered the why of my life. I have discovered who I want to become, but I'm not confident enough. I struggle a lot to embrace what I believe I do have in me. So just give them, something practical. How can they achieve that?
Well, let me say congratulations. You have actually done the hardest part, most of the people live in a space where they don't know what they're called to do, what they're called to be. And therefore, the first thing that I can say, remember what I said at the beginning, find the right people around you.
Yes.
Find people that are passionate about what you're passionate about.
Oh, wow.
Find people that are probably excelling in what you want to be. Those are called mentors or people that can guide you. Find them and sit on their laps and ask them questions about, and ask them, how do you get there? What do I need to do? What kind of trainings do I need? Where do I need to be serving now so that I can be prepared for the next 3 years? And then once you know all you have to know, fold the sleeves of your shirt and get down to work. Because you can get all the information, but it's not going to get you there. You need to start to practice bit by bit by bit. And the moment you learn a skill, find a place to practice it. Find a community school, if I'm talking about public speaking or any other thing, teaching. Find a community school that you can go to. Find people around you. They find your neighbors and try to serve in that aspect. Come to Purpose Rwanda. Come to Purpose Rwanda and say, look, I'm here, I have this purpose, but I've learned, I've gathered this information. Where can I serve? Yes. And I can tell you, Mr. Charles or even Bruno, they will guide you on what to do. But if you don't have the luxury of coming to meet Purpose Rwanda, your community is enough for you to start from there. And do not dare allow anyone steal that God has put on your heart. Wow. Because that is, my friend, your identity.
That's
and your key to greatness.
Wow, that's amazing. And I believe you are taking notes. I can assure you I'm taking some notes. I don't have a paper, but I'm taking some notes somehow, So what he just said is really important. We have to remain teachable, because being teachable, allowing yourself to learn, asking questions, that's gonna help you. Because if you don't ask questions, then the knowledge you will get will be accidental. So if you don't want the leftovers and if you want something fresh, then formulate your questions, ask whatever you want to ask, and find the people, as he said, the people who are excelling in what you want to do, the people who are ahead of you, and be humble enough to learn. Sometimes we don't learn because we're not humble enough. We think we can do it, we can make it on our own. We need to stop that. So be humble enough and learn from people. We have a lot of people to learn from. You can learn from the workers, the colleagues, even children can teach you a lot. So I believe he just gave us, the right keys, and also the part that he said that we have to put in the work, because even though you know what you were made for, it's not going to do itself. You are the one to perform the work. If you're into public speaking, or if you are into communications, if you are into anything, medical school, or if you are a doctor, an architect, anything that you're doing, a businessman, a businesswoman, anything that you're doing, you need to keep practicing and learning. I often call myself, I'm a lifetime learner, and I believe we all should be. So thank you very much, Josh, for that, and I appreciate that. So please tell us what should the youth expect from you or your company, your organization? Tell us what you have in store for us.
I come from Toastmasters International. I've been part of this wonderful community. What we do is help people become better public speakers and leaders. So I call upon everyone that wants to be part of of this great journey of public speaking and I think it should be everyone, because the ability to communicate is vital, and I believe that the ultimate goal for every career is leadership and impact. So I think Toastmasters is your place. But I also run a regular podcast on YouTube, which is helping people develop their communication skills and leadership skills, which is called the Speaker's Pulse, and it's also helping you develop your soft skills. The soft skills is an area I'm very passionate about. So what you can expect is learning of lots and lots of soft skills.
Okay. Wow, that's good. So where do we register? How do you find you?
We are on social media. On social media, the best way to reach me is I'm on Twitter.
Okay.
at TAHINDUKA. That's
Okay.
actually my handle. But also we're on Facebook. The Speaker's Pulse is on Facebook and Twitter. We're also on, I'm also on LinkedIn for professionals. But most importantly, Toastmasters and Speaker's Pulse are on Twitter, and you can always reach us, and then we can guide you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joshua, for your time.
Thank you.
It's highly appreciated.
It's my joy to be able to serve.
Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the lessons you shared with us.
Thank you.
I am pretty sure that I'm not the only one who enjoyed this, and I'm not the only one who learned something.
Well, I'm glad. I personally learned a lot from you as well.
Thank you very much. So I hope, if I invite you again, I hope you're going to come.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.